At the back of the order.
We're ready to go.
Just said they're ready to go.
Very good. And one circle with our spin up, then we'll yes, sir. With it. All right.
I'm going to start the countdown.
Clock here momentarily. Okay, let's see. Can we do the clock in your mind?
Wait, you're going to count? Let me just do
Let's do
it.
it by my mark. 3, 2, 1.
Now 30 seconds and counting to the launch of Atlantis. Let's listen in to the communications to the capsule, to the aircraft, the spacecraft, I should say, as we go down to the final seconds. Firing chain is armed. Go for main engine start. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off. The final lift off of Atlantis. On the shoulders of the space shuttle, America will continue the dream.
Houston now controlling the flight business. The space shuttle spreads its wings one final time for the start of a sentimental journey into history. 24 seconds into the flight, roll program complete. Atlantis now heads down, wings level on the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit. 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking in on the International Space Station. 20 seconds into the flight, the three liquid fuel main engines throttling back to 72% of rated performance in the bucket, reducing stress on the shuttle as it goes transonic for the final time.
Breaking the sound barrier now.
Engines now revving up, standing by for the throttle up call.
Go back.
No! Christian, stay over there!
Don't come over here.
No.
Stay over here. She's taking that. That's like the goose. Stay over here.
No action, DPDT.
Let's point that.
Nothing like it in the world. Bill Harwood, what are we seeing now?
We have a camera on the side of the external tank that they beam down to show the view from the orbiter itself. They're obviously looking for any signs of foam insulation that might come off during the ascent that could pose a debris threat to the shuttle. Nothing obvious in the early moments of flight. There was a warning alarm for pressure alarm in the cockpit. Mission control told them no talking on that, no action required. So far, so good.
Shuttle astronaut Steve Robinson, what's going on in there at this moment? You've done this 4 times.
Well, I wish I were in there right now, but those guys are having time of their lives and as focused as human beings can possibly be. They had an alarm go off that turns out to be a transducer on the cabin pressure, and so mission control radioed up, told them not to worry about it.
There go the solid rocket boosters. Jettisoning after 2 minutes of flight.
Scott, they're up about 30 miles in altitude right now, going about a mile a minute already. A mile a second, I should say, already.
20 seconds into the flight.
The space shuttle running now on its 3 main engines, draining the fuel out of that enormous fuel tank, which we will also see separate from the orbiter here in just a few minutes.
Atlantis kicking on its afterburners for one.
Steve, everything looks safe, going well?
Look beautiful, look fantastic, just like a space shuttle should.
2 engine down.
2 engine down.
That call
Bob Orr is here at the Kennedy Space Center with us, up on the roof of the structure, which just shook like it was in an earthquake. Bob Orr, what are you seeing there?
Scott, this never gets old. I have to tell you, when you're on the roof, you feel the shuttle launch more than see it. We had a relatively low cloud cover, and as the shuttle lifted off, it was a spectacular view here. It drew applause from everyone outside. It disappeared quickly into the clouds, but we could still feel the vibration. It was a majestic launch, and it was one that just for
David Shane!
looked possible. But so far, everything is going great, Scott. It's a big day and good news day here at Kennedy Space Center.
An estimated 750,000 people have come to this part of Central Florida to see this spectacle. Kelly Cobiella is out there with some of them. Kelly, what do they say?
Scott, there were a series of cheers when the shuttle went up, when you saw that big flame out here 12 miles away from the launch pad. Another cheer when you heard the rumble of the engines. And then the crowd gave one final round of applause for the shuttle program as that shuttle disappeared up into the clouds. People here maybe wiped away a tear or two, but mostly it was smiles, picture taking, and lots of applause.
We
can go
are 4
outside now.
minutes after liftoff. At this point, they are very likely heading all the way to orbit. They have passed the point that they would land in Europe if there was a problem with the space shuttle main engines. So far, no sign of any problems of any kind on this mission. What happens next, Steve Robinson?
62 miles in altitude.
Just listening to NASA, Rob Navius there describing it well. The solid rocket boosters came off, and now they're in a very smooth portion of the ascent. The whole shuttle is losing weight as it uses up fuel, and so the G's are building up on the crew and on the vehicle, and so they're being pressed into their seats more and more, and looking forward to getting above the atmosphere, rolling heads up, and then what happens is the shuttle goes up, and then turns over this way to go fast to reach orbital velocity. That's what's happening.
Well, we can only experience it live one time, but the magic of television is we can look at it again and again, and I'd like to see it one more time. We'll re-rack the tape and have a look at the launch. Here it was just 5 minutes ago. 1, 0, and liftoff, the final liftoff of Atlantis on the shoulders of the space shuttle. America will continue the dream.
Atlantis. Houston now controlling the flight of Atlantis. The space shuttle spreads its wings one final time for the start of a sentimental journey into history.
Bill Harwood, there is nothing like this. There is nothing like this on the drawing boards. We are not likely to see a spacecraft of this size, complexity, and capability, perhaps in our lifetimes.
No, we're really not. I was just thinking, watching it come off the pad, that I'm never going to see that again. And we're all so used to it. The shuttle is almost iconic in this country in terms of that winged orbiter that we're all so used to, and we're not going to see it again. It's quite a moment.
Now revving up.
Steve, you have flown on 4 shuttle flights. You've been with NASA how long? 30?
In one more week, it'll be 35 years.
35 years. What does this mean to you, seeing the last shuttle go?
Well, to tell you the truth, Scott, I'm kind of mission focused. I'm the lead Capcom for this mission, which means I'm one of the guys in mission control that actually speaks to the crew. So at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'll be in mission control and back in Houston and starting my job here. So I'm very focused on the crew, their readiness, and the mission ahead of them.
4 crew members on this flight.
Only 4.
Only 4, usually 7 on a shuttle flight. Why only 4?
Well, the idea is normally when we launch a shuttle to the International Space Station, we have a rescue capability with another shuttle behind it. Well, clearly we don't have that now. And so if we do need to park these guys on the International Space Station, we'd have to bring them down on a phased series of Russian Soyuz spacecraft, and 4 is as many as we can handle.
That's the orbiter at the top. You're looking at the bottom of the Atlantis at the top of the screen. The bottom of the screen, there goes the external fuel tank falling away. The camera is literally on the external fuel tank. There goes the Atlantis
Commander Chris Ferguson will be
rising into space. They are now safely in orbit, and it is the last time that anyone will ever see that. A very successful launch today. Atlantis is safely in space on the final shuttle mission. There will be more about all of this on your local news, on this CBS station, on CBSNews.com, and tonight on the CBS Evening News. Until then, I'm Scott Pelley, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.